Please welcome AIPAC President Mort Fridman.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to be together once more in our nation's capital. In speaking with so many of you, it's clear that this conference feels different. It feels different because it is different. The fundamental reasons we support a strong U.S.-Israel relationship have been attacked. And worse, our loyalty to the United States has been questioned. And people are watching to see what happens next. I'm the child of a Holocaust survivor. I'm the president of AIPAC. We all have stories that brought us here. And though all of us are different in so many ways, we are similar in one very specific way. None of us are willing to be silenced or intimidated. We've had detractors before. We'll have them again. The one thing we cannot allow, the one thing we must never allow, we can never let detractors become distractions. Let's remember what true success looks like. Success is the United States of America and Israel standing together. Today, tomorrow, forever. If that is the future we want to see, then we need to stay focused on our mission. We need to make sure that we work to help set the agenda. That in the face of adversity, our determination increases. We do that, we win. America and Israel will be stronger and safer as a result. Our detractors don't know our determination, our focus, or our commitment. We are stronger than we've ever been before because of our remarkable diversity: Jewish, Christian, Muslim, African American, Asian, Hispanic, veteran, student, Democrat, Republican, Independent, all united in our unwavering and unyielding support for America's relationship with Israel. So this evening, as the president of AIPAC, let me tell you and them exactly who we are, with just a few stories. The first one goes like this. A young woman from California has an interest in political science and a passion for Israel. At Claremont McKenna College, she becomes the AIPAC liaison and interns for AIPAC in Washington, D.C. in 1989. Fast forward, she becomes a successful businesswoman, a wife, a mother, and remains engaged with AIPAC. She works hard to bring new members into the organization and builds meaningful relationships with our country's leaders on both sides of the political aisle. Eventually, she's asked to serve on the AIPAC National Board. She's not the first former intern to become a member of our National Board of Directors. But next year, she will become the very first to serve as AIPAC President. I am proud to announce AIPAC's President-elect, Betsy Berns Korn. Betsy, to you and Doug, to Drew, Hunter, and Lucas, congratulations. I look forward to working even more closely with you in the year ahead, and then when you become AIPAC's president in March of 2020. The next story borrows a note from our conference theme. It's about connecting and the good that comes when we do. Jonathan Quarles is a successful business owner and an angel investor. Jonathan grew up in Flint, Michigan. His first successful business was as a paperboy at the age of 8. In the years since, he has started and grown 10 different companies. Jonathan has been called one of Detroit's most well-known connectors. He has developed and managed strategic partnerships for multi-billion-dollar corporations and social impact organizations. So when he traveled to Israel with our Education Foundation, and as he learned more about AIPAC, it became the perfect fit. Jonathan wanted to invest in an alliance which paid dividends to both countries and to the entire world. Over the last several years, Jonathan has returned to Israel numerous times, including leading one of our foundation's trips. His belief in the importance of the U.S.-Israel alliance translates to his business and his work to strengthen the city of Detroit. Today, his consulting company represents 3 startups in Israel. And Jonathan is working with the Michigan-Israel Business Accelerator to encourage economic cooperation between his home state and the Jewish state. Recently, Jonathan hosted an event with his member of Congress to talk with leaders from the Jewish and African American communities about her support of the U.S.-Israel relationship. But he didn't stop there. Jonathan not only contributes to AIPAC, he regularly and proudly supports elected officials and candidates for office whom he feels best represent the pro-Israel views he embraces. And he encourages others to do the same. Because as Jonathan says, it is the right and responsibility of every American to be involved in our political system. Nobody should back down or back away from this obligation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know what pro-Israel leadership is, meet Jonathan Quarles. Thank you, Jonathan. Next story. It takes place in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Renee Firesheets and her husband, Bill, traveled to Israel in 2015. Upon their return, Renee said her Christian faith, coupled with her experience in Israel, compelled her to want to help Israel in a tangible way. A few months later, AIPAC members invited Renee and Bill to their home to talk about getting involved with AIPAC. They described exactly what Renee said she had been searching for. She and Bill became Senate Club members on the spot. In the years since, Renee has worked closely with AIPAC National Board member Donna Sternberg and many others, focusing on growing AIPAC, pro-Israel politics, and Louisiana's relationship with the Jewish state. Renee shared with me how proud she is to be from a state where her governor is speaking out against BDS and working hard to promote investment in Israel. Renee has traveled throughout the Southwest to talk to AIPAC leaders about ways to increase pro-Israel Christian participation in AIPAC, and has been personally responsible for numerous new AIPAC club members. Most recently, Renee worked with young leaders, including her daughter Liz, to form AIPAC's Young Professionals Network in Baton Rouge. But Renee isn't resting. She formed the first AIPAC Baton Rouge Executive Council, made up of Jewish and Christian activists, to grow their work in the community. And she encouraged friends to join Bill and her last fall for AIPAC's Senate Club mission to Israel. Renee also knows that politics matters, and she and Bill are working to encourage pro-Israel Americans throughout Louisiana to increase their participation and their political giving to pro-Israel candidates for office. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders lead by doing. Renee, thank you for all you are doing for America's pro-Israel movement. One last story. It comes from a great man who was AIPAC's president in the late 70s and early 80s. His commitment to this organization throughout his life shaped our work and made him the father of modern-day AIPAC. We profoundly miss him. Fortunately, his legacy endures, and so do his words. This is the story of Larry Weinberg.
When I was a child, being Jewish was a central part of our lives. There was no Israel. The idea of a Jewish state was more of a hope, a dream, but not one that I ever expected to see in my lifetime. I was a first generation born in the United States, and my parents would tell me about their siblings, their parents that still lived in Poland. My mother would read letters, usually in Yiddish. The letters, as I remember them, were fearful letters about what was happening in anti-Semitism in Europe and how it was affecting my family, how horrible it was. And that made an impression on me. I went to the Yeshiva of Flatbush, and I graduated from there in 1939. Then we got into the war in December of 1941. I remember feeling that it was going to affect me and us. So I enlisted. I got assigned to the 100th Infantry Division, which was taken up to the front lines, which were in the Vosges Mountains on the edge between France and Germany. We got pinned down early in the morning by a German machine gun, and then about 6:30 at night, it was dark. The sergeant says, "Okay, Weinberg, I want you to go on a patrol." And I thought, oh, this is really it. And I remember as we were climbing over this group of logs, all of a sudden I heard this tremendous explosion. And I had the feeling that I was falling head over heels into black. I remember praying to God to save me, not because I was worthy, but because if I were saved, I would try to be of help to the Jewish people. I came back. I spent 11 months in an army hospital, and my mother said that there was a nice girl visiting your cousin Ruth. Why don't you go over and say hello? That night I took her for a walk on the boardwalk, and I took her home and I wanted to kiss her goodnight. I liked her and I thought she liked me too. So we get closer together and closer together, and our lips are about to touch, and she says, "By the way, Larry, are you a Zionist?" 6 months later, we got married. I got into real estate, and we were building houses. Fast forward, and my business had grown exponentially. And we really became, by 1969, we were the largest privately owned home builder in the country. I started convening meetings in my office, some of my friends for lunch once a week. And we talked about, is there anything that we can do that could make a difference for Israel's security, Israel's future? I thought that the best chance for Israel's survival was going to be in Washington. And we started talking about political action. And that's when we started talking about AIPAC. I've met some remarkable people through AIPAC. One of the wonderful qualities of working in AIPAC, to a great extent, we're an extended family. Actions is what we're about. It isn't as much as whether you like President Jones or Senator Smith. You deal with the policy. You don't deal with the personality. You need a bipartisan togetherness to make a democracy work. The personal relationships are crucial, and it has to be an honorable, honest one. Don't throw smoke at the guy. It's important that they feel your concern, your passion, your reasoning. And every one of us has a little different story. And that's going to make a bigger impression on many people. Helping AIPAC to strengthen the U.S.'s relationship is a vital and important part of our family's past, present, and future. I mentioned at the beginning that I was wounded in 1944, and I promised I'll try to be of help to the Jewish people. I'm now in the home stretch of my life, and I hope I can, in some way that's possible yet, fulfill that commitment, because there's so much to be done.
How blessed we are to be joined by those who carry on Larry's mission, including his daughter Jan, who serves as a member of AIPAC's National Board of Directors. Ladies and gentlemen, the Weinberg family. May all of us continue in the footsteps of those who have gone before us. May we continue to be inspired by the examples of those who sit among us. And may we always be proud participants in this great democracy so that we remain connected for good. Thank you.